Mommy here, and today I'm accompanied by Busy Pops. This is my father-in-law, Bill Phillips. So he wrote this book called Island Time, which is actually pretty cool, and not just because I'm in a couple pages and I wrote some of it. That's probably not, the cool part of it. But one of the really cool things is that he actually went to Belize and got a wooden sailboat made from scratch, which is really cool. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
How big was the boat?
29 foot.
29 foot. So it was really cool. We got to go visit. I happened to be, I think I was like 5 months pregnant with Lily when I went, and Sophia was like 2 years old. So it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of really, really cool pictures in here. There's a lot of really awesome stuff. So
and nice adventure stories.
Yes,
and some of them are pretty funny as well.
They are pretty funny. Sophia has, I think, an adventure in here too, right? She talks a little bit, does she?
She does, and she has her first boat.
Oh yes,
the SS Sophia.
The SS Sophia. So one of the cool things is we spent about 10 days. Was it 10 days in Belize? 10 days. And one of the cool things was there's this thing called Escabeche, which is just a chicken stew that they make there in Belize. And Bill was kind of sad because he knows I'm a huge foodie, obviously, Busy Mommy, right? And so he's like, I really wish you guys could try this. And apparently the lady only made it on
Dawn's restaurant, our favorite restaurant in Placencia, only made Escabeche on Thursdays, and we were there on Wednesdays. I mean, she had other great food, but we really wanted them to try out the soup. It was fabulous. And it was our favorite food in Belize.
Yeah, and we were leaving. So I asked her really nicely if she by chance had any and if she would make any. And she brought me out a bowl. So it was really, I just have this thing. People just like to do stuff for me. I don't know. So we thought it would be really cool to redo this recipe. So it's actually in his book, which you can actually purchase on his website.
Sea Bag Adventures.
Sea Bag Adventures. We'll link it below so you guys can actually see it. But you also get a discount, by the way, if you do want to buy the book and see some of these adventures and read about our stories and, comment about our stories. We'd love that. And a lot of the watercolors and all the artwork, my husband actually did. So that's really cool. So I'm Busy Mommy. I already told Bill. I'm like, I might add a few things here and there only because that's just kind of how I roll. But we're going to try to follow the recipe exactly the way it is. It's a really good stew. It's really great for the winter. Actually great for the summer too, because essentially, it's warm all the time in Belize. Yeah. And so they eat it all the time. It's a really hearty meal and it's very yummy. So we're going to start off with our chicken. So Bill, if you want to grab the chicken.
Chicken.
So we're going to take a whole chicken and you're going to cut it in half. So we've already done that. We're not going to touch it because we're going to touch the vegetables. But what you're going to do is you're going to juice 1 lime. I'm probably going to juice 2 just because this chicken is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to have Bill pass me the 2 limes.
2 limes.
And we're going to cut them in half and then we're going to juice them. There's a trick. A lot of people with these juicers, they think that you're supposed to put it this way because this is the way you're supposed to put it in because you think that, but in reality, it's actually this way because this piece is supposed to go through to the lime and juice it. So I'm gonna have you, Bill, juice all 4 of these into the chicken. And then while we do that, I'm going to get the onions. Probably 2 large, these are fairly large onions. I like onions a lot, Bill likes onions a lot. So we're definitely going to put a lot of onions. You can put less if you want, but you definitely need the onion in this recipe in order to make it really yummy. So we're going to cut up the onion while he's juicing the limes. So what I'm going to do is cut this in rounds. So since that has been juiced, what we're going to do now, according to the recipe, is we need to season the chicken with salt, pepper, and garlic.
You trust me to do this?
I trust you. I'll keep watch.
My wife did put me out there for worst cook in America.
Uh-oh. This might be enough onion. Maybe 1 onion was enough. So
watch me here.
Change it.
Is that good?
Yes, but I'm going to flip it and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side.
And salt, right?
Yes.
That looks like a lot. Okay.
You're going to want a lot because it's a big amount of chicken. So we're going to flip this. So feel free to use your hands. And then I'll throw the seasoning in this time. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing he did. So really just season it generously. I mean, the pepper's not really gonna do anything in the sense of hurting the chicken in any way. The salt really will kind of come off when you're doing this. Okay, so everyone knows this is the part that I'm gonna add. So adobo for me is like, there's two seasonings we have in our house. There's adobo and there's Tony Chachere's. So there's Cajun seasoning and there's Spanish seasoning. This is like literally, it's almost empty because these are our seasonings. I'm gonna throw some adobo because this is a Spanish dish, so we don't really need the Cajun flavor, but I'm gonna throw some in there. The rest of this recipe says put it in a large, so once you season it, then place the chicken in a large stock pot and completely cover with 6 cups of water. So yes, we're gonna do that, but whenever I do chicken like this, or whenever I do any sort of meat recipe, like crisp the outside a little bit to give it more flavor. So we're gonna get a pan and we're gonna kind of just brown it on the outside on both sides. So we're gonna do that, come back, put it in water. Okay, so you wanna get your pan hot. You wanna wait until your pan is hot before you pour the oil. The oil actually gets pretty hot. So we're gonna take the chicken, you're gonna put it skin side down into the pan, and you're gonna give it like maybe 4 or 5 minutes per side, just so we get a brown color. So we're gonna do that. Okay, so now it's been about 4 or 5 minutes. You can leave it a little longer. I'm gonna flip it. See, that is what you want. You want a little caramelization on the meat. Obviously you're not cooking it, you're just browning it. So we're gonna flip it and do that same thing to the other side.
Nice.
Yum. Oh my God, that looks so good. All right, so while you wait for that to happen, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some spices together. If you wanna grab that bowl. And then we need the cumin, the allspice, salt, pepper, garlic. We're gonna add all the other ingredients except for the vinegar ones. So while we wait for this, we're gonna mix all the other ingredients. So we're gonna do 3/4 of a teaspoon of cumin. So this calls for seeds. We don't have seeds, so we're just gonna use this. So I'm gonna do, does that look like 3/4?
Looks like 3/4.
Look at us. I'm gonna do, actually, I feel like this is a bigger chicken than I think they have, so we might add a little bit more. Then we're gonna do oregano. So we need 1.5 or 1 1/4 teaspoon. So do you wanna try to put some in there? That looks about good. We're gonna crush it. So we have fresh oregano. This is from our garden. So when the year is over, we dry it up and we use it. 6 to 8 allspice seeds. I'm gonna say 1 teaspoon of allspice. It's probably good. And then we need the consomé de pollo. So caldo de pollo, no, the chicken cubes. So in Latin cooking, there's this caldo de pollo, which is basically just like the essence of chicken stock, really, that you add water to. So this asks for 1 cube. So we're probably gonna add 1.5 cubes, just because this is more. So I'm gonna just kind of crush it up in there, just so it blends in. Now we need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, so I'm gonna let you do that.
2 tablespoons.
Yep.
Okay.
And then 4 cloves of garlic, which is probably 1.5 tablespoons of garlic.
My wife thinks I can cook. I don't know.
Look at this. He's a natural. 1 tablespoon of garlic.
Okay.
That's good. And we can use this spoon to kind of mix it all up. So I'm gonna have you mix that all up. And then I guess we can add salt and pepper to this. So throw a little salt and pepper. It tastes like escabeche.
Cool,
It has that flavor.
It does.
I mean, it's obviously very strong. So now that this has gotten some color, I'll flip it and let's look at the other side. See that? Delicious. That looks so good. Now we can boil this. So I'm going to transport this to a pan on the stove that has 6 to 8 cups of water in it. So we added the chicken to a pan. We put water in it. to cover it up. And now we're gonna add all this. So Bill, if you wanna throw all that in here.
Did you say throw?
Throw. So just to make sure we get everything, I would dip that bowl in there for a second and get some of the water. Yeah. You just gotta get all the seasonings.
Yum.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna have it boil in about medium heat for about an hour. I'm gonna check it and then might need a little bit more longer. So I might do an hour and a half. So I'm gonna go put this on the stove. All right. So now, according to the recipe, this is something that's gonna go against, we're gonna soften the onions up in some boiling hot water. So this was 1 onion. I mean, it's a lot. This onion is huge.
That's a big onion.
Yeah. What was your favorite part about Belize, Bill?
Sailing the reef. That's my favorite part. It's got the largest living reef in the world, and the fish and the coral are just spectacular. That was, and you know, sailing.
Yeah, well,
around the reef is also pretty spectacular. So yeah, that was my favorite.
I didn't get to sail. I was pregnant. I didn't get to sail or snorkel this time. But it's okay. I got to see, I mean, you could see the coral from above, which was cool. So that was really nice.
It was Sophia's first time to go swimming. Remember, that was pretty amazing. That
was pretty cool. Sophia loved it. It was fun. Yeah. I just wanted to swim too. I mean, we swam for a while when everybody went on the boat for a while. So we were like 2 hours with some really cute kids that lived in Belize. And he was like, do you want me to climb the tree and get a coconut for you? And I was like, what? You're going to climb a tree and get a fresh coconut? I mean, sure. He like climbed up and he brought coconuts down. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty standard there.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. We're going to need to go back when, you know, now that I'm no longer pregnant and my daughter's now 4. All right. So we're going to pour the boiling hot water over the onions. Okay. And you're basically just going to let these simmer. So essentially, about 30 minutes, they should be softened up. I mean, they soften up rather quickly depending on... All right, so we're gonna let this happen, and then after this, according to the recipe, we're gonna remove the chicken from the broth and then add some vinegar. I'm probably gonna add some of the jalapeno juice into it just to give it some of the pickled vinegar that's already in the jalapeno peppers, because I think that would add a little bit of good flavor to it too. So we're gonna go leave this aside and then we'll be back. All right, so we're back. We've actually been simmering for about 2 hours because it was a pretty large chicken. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually take the chicken out of the broth and just quick pan fry it with some olive oil, probably about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna have Bill, if you can just drain the onions from the water. We're gonna drain the onions from the water. Now. Right, I'm gonna get some oil. So we got the chicken. We're gonna take it out a little bit. So it's been simmering for a while, so it's probably gonna fall apart pretty easily, which is what I want because I essentially wanna take all the bones out if possible. Whenever I make chicken dishes, I try. That tastes good. I'm already trying it. I'm gonna start throwing them in here and backing up a little bit. I mean, that literally just like came right out. The thigh is the best part. All right, so we're just gonna saute it a little bit in the pan. At this point, you can take, if this is too much chicken for you, you can take some of it out and save it. I mean, the flavor that this has already is really good for leftovers. So we're gonna let that sit for a couple minutes. We're gonna do the onions. So for the onions, we're going to grab that big bowl again that originally these were in. So after simmering in the hot water, they're very soft and ready to go. So we're gonna pour those onions in there and we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of vinegar. All right, so I tasted the chicken. I think the chicken needed a little more seasoning, so I'm gonna throw some adobo on it because that's like literally my answer to everything.
I think that's mixed up enough.
Yeah. Go ahead and pour it in there. All that onion and vinegar. And mix it all up. So the next step of the recipe says to let them simmer with just the broth. Just because that way the vinegar kind of picks up into the onions. You can do it with the chicken or with the broth. I'm probably gonna throw the chicken back in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna turn this off now that they've browned a little bit. I'm gonna let this simmer for about 10 minutes in its own with the vinegar and the onions, and then I'm gonna throw the chicken in. So they say one of the things they do is they add these pickled jalapenos, which I like to eat just by themselves, like with anything. But I'm actually gonna add some into the broth because the liquid is vinegary too, and it has a little pepper. So I'm gonna throw a few jalapenos in there because I like it. We're gonna throw a little bit in there. We're gonna let this simmer and we'll be back. All right, so after a while with all the juices mixing together, I think it looks pretty good, right?
Oh, it looks great.
Look at these onions.
I can't wait to dig in.
So, few ways you can eat this. You can do it over rice. You can do it with just tortillas. You can eat it by itself. We made some white rice. I'll make this recipe later on too for you guys to see how I did the white rice. All right, you ready to try this, Bill?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Oh, it looks so good.
It smells so good and it looks so good. Oh
it's
my
like
God.
a Belizean gumbo, kind of. I don't know, over rice, kind of similar. All right.
Yum.
So I'm gonna.
Looks as good as Dawn's, I can tell you that.
Oh man. Sorry, Dawn. If you ever want to come on the show and cook it with me, hey, feel free. So I'm gonna throw a jalapeno on mine. Did you want a jalapeno?
Just a little one.
Just a little jalapeno on yours.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
There you go. All right. So let's get our spoons and let's try it.
Ooh.
Let's see. I mean, that's really good.
Oh my God.
That's really good.
Wow, it's just the right amount of spices, I think.
Yeah, we did it.
Yes, we did.
Woo! High five, Bill. Woo! All right.
That is great, Busy Mama.
Oh, I'm so excited. So Busy Pops over here has his book. If you want the recipe, it's in here. I'll also have it on busymommy.com. But we'll have this linked below for you to be able to purchase his book.
Yeah, and 10% off coupon. The code is Busy Mama, and you go to Seabag Adventures, the website Seabag Adventures, enter that code and 10% off for you when you buy the book.
We'll have the code below, so you just type in, your Busy Mommy, you got it. So we're gonna eat this now and enjoy. If you like this, please comment, add anything that you want to this recipe. Let me know if there's anything you would change. And like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.